Because we're not doing that today. Hello, chat. Hello. How are y'all doing on this Sunday day? Hey? How is it? Is it the superb owl today? Are we getting... Is it football day? Monty's cold as fuck. Hello, chat. Hello. Monty, it's Tuesday. No, it's not. It's Sunday. I know that. 2 weeks. Ah, okay. Hello, chat. I gotta call out some subs. I heard them. I was using the bathroom before we got started. Mirror Wolf 9, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub for 84 months. Did you do a right good crump in there, Monty? I crumped pretty good, I think. I crumped the best that I could. Infinite Kitty, thank you so much for the tier 2 sub for 63 months. Thank you so much. I'll be right back in a sec, Monty. Just watching some sports ball. Also, aren't you telling us to leave you alone on Sunday? Why are we here? Listen, you left me alone on Saturday, which is why we're talking now on Sunday. And no, we're not doing book club. I'm sorry. No book club today. Also, Hype Train. Let's go. Hell yeah. Thank you so much. Hello. Hopefully I didn't miss anything else. I had to grab something to drink, use the bathroom before going live. Well, I went live and then set up and all that jazz, but yeah, we're here. We'll jump into the Warhammer stuff here in a bit. I just wouldn't mind chatting, giving some people more time to come in. And chat, I can regale you about how I got trapped in an elevator. Because I realized I never explained that to you all. And for those who missed it, on Blue Sky and Twitter, and my Discord, I posted a video where I was trapped in an elevator.
Love you.
Free Shavakadu. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub for 23 months. Thank you so much. How are you doing, Free Shavakadu? Fantastic name. Tonight is championship games to see who goes to the Super Bowl. Ah, Naruhodo. Oh no, Monty experienced D16 firsthand. Yeah, the irony of playing Phoenix Wright and like finishing that case and then getting trapped in an elevator was pretty funny. Noki the Throw, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Lego Maniac. Thank you so much. Doing well. Hell yeah, Free Shabakadu. Hell yeah. Oh my goodness. Are you the superb owl, Monty? I'm the superb dragon. Streamer lady. I'm the superb nerd. That's me. I'm like the angry video game nerd, but I'm superb. I hate the cold. It makes my right arm hurt. Oh yeah, when you get like the joint pains when it's cold. Not exclusive to old people, by the way. That can just happen. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. I'll get into it, chat, once we get into it, but yeah. Clearly, you getting stuck in an elevator is the efforts of an Alpha Legion player trying to be the end of you, right? It was the dang Alpha Legion sabotaging me. They didn't want me to go to the tournament. Oh, man. It was fun, though, chat. Like, genuinely, yeah, it was yesterday. And we... Oh, man, I'll get more into it. But, like, we played almost 12... Like, it was almost a 12-hour event. Like, we started at, like, I want to say, like, 8 or 9, and then we went until, like, 7 or 8 p.m. Like, it was a whole day. And it was a great day. It was a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun. It's been so cold that trees are exploding. Yeah, if water gets in the trees and expands, I can believe that. Oh, man. Chat, do you want to hear about me getting stuck in an elevator? You want to hear that story real quick? I figured it'd be a good story to start with for the people who show up on time. They get to enjoy the elevator story, and then we could jump into Warhammer, and all that jazz. Sounds good. Please, yes. Okay. So Tuesday, I canceled keys because I had a bunch of prep work to do for Unexpectables. And I was working on the prep work, and I got a message from Darcy, and Darcy's like, hey man, I really could use a hangout. And I'm like, alright. Because Darcy's kind of a homebody, and like, we like to chat, you know, and she had some work stuff that she just wanted to talk about. And so, you know, me trying to be a good friend, I swung by, I don't know if you guys have them in America. It's called A&W. It's like a fast food place. But I swung by A&W, And I picked up some onion rings for myself, and then I picked up us, you know, some smoothies. I got like a strawberry smoothie for me, and I got Darcy, you know, an acai smoothie. You know, to be a good friend. And so I go to Darcy's building, right? And she lives in a newer apartment complex that was just recently built. And it has an elevator. There's 4 floors, so it has an elevator in it. They're sparse. Oh, wow, you guys really don't have A&Ws, huh? You do have the root beer, though. The root beer is pretty notorious, yeah. It was chased out of America during the fast food war, yeah. We only have, like, 1, I think. 1 or 2 in my town. But it was the closest thing, and the local Timmy's was closed, so normally I would go and get Timmy's, because that is my preferred, like, you know, swing by and get a drink for a friend place, but the place up near Darcy's was closed. Goodbye, hype train. So I get to her place. I have a handful of food, right? I'm carrying a bunch of food. So I get into her apartment building, and I put in the code, I get inside, and then I walk up to the elevator, and I press the elevator button. You know, the elevator opens. I walk inside, you know, I get inside the elevator, and then I press her floor, which is 4. So I press 4. You know, door closes. And then the elevator makes the most horrific noise I have ever heard in my life. I walk in, it's like... And I'm standing there, just like... That didn't sound very good. That sounded kind of bad. So I'm standing in the elevator, and I wait, right? It's like complete silence for the most part. And I'm standing there, and I'm like, we're not moving. So I look at the panel, and I pressed 4, right? And, you know, when you press an elevator button, the button glows to indicate that you've pressed that floor, right? So I pressed 4, it glowed, then it made the ungodly noise, and it wasn't glowing anymore. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just press it again. So, you know, I press it again. It doesn't glow. And it makes like, you know, like in Half-Life when you press a button and it doesn't let you press the button, it's like, like it makes like a noise. I press the 4, it doesn't glow, and it goes, and I was like, oh, okay, so I press number 3. I'm like, okay, I'll press floor number 3. 2? 1? So I'm like, oh shit, okay, well, I guess I'll take the stairs. So I press the open door button on the elevator.
I love you.
Daniel Bonin, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much. I press the open door button. And it doesn't open. And at this point...
I love you.
Gabaleo, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub for 88 months. Elevator panic mode, oh no. I press the open door button. And it doesn't open. And I immediately am like... I think I might be trapped in the elevator. So I press all the buttons again. And the elevator is basically starts making noises. It's like, I hear silence, okay? I hear silence. Then I hear like a hydraulic hissing. Then like a grinding noise. And then silence. And it just repeats. It just repeats those sounds. Sorry, I'm gonna drink some water real quick. So, you know, I called Darcy on her phone because Darcy lives in the building, right? So I call Darcy on her phone, and I'm like, Darcy, hey dude, I'm in the elevator. By the way, I'm there to cheer her up, man. She's having a rough go of it. I'm there to cheer her up. So I call Darcy. I'm like, Darcy, I think I'm trapped in your elevator. And she goes, what? And I'm like, yeah, I got in and it's not working. And so Darcy gets out of her apartment and she walks to the elevator on her floor, on floor 4. and she presses the button, right? And we're on call. We're in the same phone call. So Darcy walks over and she presses the button on her floor, because there's only one elevator. She presses the button, and she goes, Monty? And I was like, yes, Darcy. She goes, it didn't do anything. And I was like, Darcy, I'm trapped in your elevator. And she starts laughing at me. So if you've ever been on an elevator, you know that, like, I don't know if it's the same in America or what other countries. There's usually, like, the floor numbers, right? You have the floors, and then you have a bell button, and then you have a phone button on there. So I'm trapped. I hang up on Darcy, and I press... Oh, dude, at this point inside... Like, outside, I thought it was hilarious. Inside, I was like, oh, shit. Here's the thing, chat. Here's the thing. I was, like, a little bit nervous, but I wasn't scared because I was still on the ground floor. Okay? And it's not so much I was scared of, like, plummeting to my death. It's more like, if I'm on the ground floor, they can access the elevator easier to get me out. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm still on the ground floor, there's way more ways to get me out than if I would... Like, if I had gotten in the elevator, it moved and then stopped working, I would have been way more freaked out. Because then they would have had a harder time, like, actually getting me out of the elevator. So, yeah. So I'm on the ground floor still. I'm as safe as I can be. And I know for a fact, I'm like, I'm getting out of here. I'm not going to turn into bones, you know? And I'm not claustrophobic either. If I was claustrophobic, I think I'd be a lot more, like, I think that would be completely reasonable if I was scared as shit, right? But I'm not claustrophobic at all. I think it's hilarious. But I have to get out. So I press the call button on the elevator. You know, I press the call button. And it, like, rings multiple times. And then there's, like, a pre-recorded message for the operator that comes through, basically saying the building's address, basically, to the operator. And it repeats twice. And then a lady's super, like, the speaker on the stupid thing is so bad. A lady comes on to the, you know, onto the speaker. And she's just like, hello, how can I help you? And I was like, she's like, oh, you know, hello, how can I help you? And I go, hi. I think I'm trapped in the elevator. I cannot get out. And she goes, oh. And the lady's like, oh, okay, are you so you're trapped? And I'm like, yes, ma'am, I believe I am trapped. I have pressed every button multiple times, and I am not able to get out. I am trapped, and the elevator is making a strange noise, and I don't know how to get out. And she's like, okay. She's like, all right. And then she started asking me, like, she asked me for my name. She asked me for my phone number. And she asked for the address where I was. So I had to get the address from Darcy because I didn't know the address by heart. I knew the building number, but I didn't know the address. So I give her all that information, right? And we're, like, talking back and forth. It's really hard to understand her because the speaker was so shit. But, like, you know, she's like, okay, here's what I'm going to do for you, Monty. But she's my real name. And she's like, here's what I'm going to do for you, Monty. She's like, I'm going to call the superintendent of the building, okay? She's like, I'm going to call the superintendent of the building, and I'm going to see if he can, like, get in there and get you out, okay? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. And she's like, if you don't hear back from me in, like, you know, 20 to 30 minutes, you should call 911 and have them get you out, okay? And I'm like, all right, cool. So she hangs up on me, and I'm, like, in the elevator, which that was the point where I took the video, chat, is I took the video at that point, because I was like, oh my god, I'm still trapped in the elevator. Because I thought maybe she could give me, like, a secret Konami code to, like, unlock the door or something. But no, that was not the case. She had to send someone to rescue us. Yeah, I reported to you guys. I reported to the group chat as well, and to Blue Sky, and to Twitter. Meanwhile, Darcy, I'm messaging Darcy, and Darcy's, like, is so funny to Darcy. Darcy thinks it's the most hilarious thing ever.
Love you.
Fucking, I sent that video. Glaciris, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much. Elevator trauma and Warhammer tourney story time. Hell yeah. We're getting through the elevator story first. It gives people time to jump in for the Warhammer stuff. So I'm trapped. Darcy's messaging me and is like, thinks it's hilarious. And, like, I'm keeping her up to date. I sent the video to Shay, by the way, and Shay said she started the video, and the first second it started, she burst out laughing. She showed it to her whole family, too. What a friend. I did help them cheer up a little bit, yeah. No, absolutely. So I'm stuck there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting for this lady to call me back. So you know what I did, chat? I just Slavic squatted and ate onion rings on the floor of the elevator. I was so prepared unintentionally to be ready to be trapped in an elevator, chat. Like, I was so ready. I had used the bathroom before going to Darcy's. I picked up food and drinks, and I had my Kindle at a full charge. I was ready to be in an elevator for however long it took, man. So I'm waiting, I'm messaging Darcy, and then eventually the lady comes back on the speaker, and I could not understand her worth of, like, she was explaining something, and she's like, oh, so here's my floor, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, ma'am, I can't understand you, I need you to maybe just be a bit quieter, you're peeking out the mic. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. She's like, okay, so I got into contact with the superintendent. She's like, he says he's on his way over to get you out, to rescue you. No, she said rescue. She's like, he's on his way over to rescue you. And I'm like, all right. And she goes, if he doesn't show up in the next 10 to 30 minutes, though, you have every right to call emergency services to get you out, okay? So if you think you need to get out in, like, the next 10 to 20 minutes, like, you can absolutely call emergency services and have them come over to get you out, okay? And I was like, okay, thank you. So she hangs up on me again. I go back to Slavic squatting and eating onion rings. And then I hear, like, a door open, right? I hear a door open, and I'm just like, oh, that must be the superintendent. And then I'm like, hello? And the superintendent and this other guy are like, oh, hello, don't worry, we're gonna get you out, we're gonna get you out. And I'm like, okay. So I can hear them like fidgeting with like a panel or something. So they're going into like a panel. Was the superintendent big and buff? No, it was like, he looked like a New Yorker complete with Zito hat, dude. They looked like two like older New Yorker guys without the accents. They looked like two New Yorker dudes with the hat, like the hats that Zito wears. Yeah, it was great. And so, like, they're fidgeting with a panel on the side of the elevator. I'm still inside. At this point, I, like, clean my fingers and I, like, grab my food so I don't look like a horrible fucking gremlin on the ground. And they're messing with this panel, and then they just shut the whole elevator down. They literally just do a turn it off and turn it on again strategy. So they turn the whole elevator off, and then they turn it back on, and then nothing happens. And I hear them on the outside going, that didn't work. And I'm just inside going, oh no, do we have to get the fire department in on this? So then they fidget more with the panel. And I just hear them going, like, try this. And they're trying stuff. And I just hear them going, like, that's not working, this isn't working. And then eventually I hear, like, them, like, bang around in something. And then there's, like, a crack forms in the door. Like, the elevator door, like, cracks open, and they just grab between the door with, like a crowbar in their hands, and they just force that door open. And they shove the door open. They're like, okay, come on, you can get out now. And I, like, walk past them, and they're like, are you okay? Are you claustrophobic? Are you all right? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. That was funny. Like, I was in there probably for about 15 minutes, I'd say. Maybe 15 or 20. I can't remember quite as many. And they got me out, and they're like, are you okay? Like, are you fine? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. It's all good. I was just here to bring food to my friend, and then I got trapped. And so I go up the stairs. Like, I leave them, and I can see them. They're, like, trying to figure out what happened. They're like, what happened? How did this happen? You know, they're looking at the elevator, and of course it's me. I'm the one who gets trapped in the elevator. It's just, like, Shay, after, like, I told Shay about what happened, Shay was like, of course it would be you. Of course it would be you who gets trapped in the elevator of everyone out there. So I run up the stairs, and I get to Darcy's apartment. I'm like, Darcy, let me in. And then we hung out, and I ate the rest of my onion rings, and yeah. Please, please, please tell them you told them about the noises you heard. No, they heard it. They were hearing the noises, man. When they turned the elevator back on, it made that horrible grinding noise. So they heard it. Like, God, they really heard it. But, yeah, how will I ever acclimate back into society by being... Yeah, right? How am I ever gonna become human again, man? I'm a different person now. I live in a post-escape elevator world now, chat. Oh my god. But anyway, that was my elevator story. It wasn't like... I didn't get... At least you didn't get trapped in an escalator. I know, I wouldn't have survived, man. That would have been crazy. It was... Yeah. Here's the thing, chat. I'm glad I was by myself. So I could Slavic squad and eat onion rings. That was the good news, man. Like, I'm glad I wasn't with anybody else, because that would have sucked. Oh, man. But yeah, it did cheer up Darcy, you know. The universe saw that she was having a rough go of it, and she decided to give her some humor for the day. It was quite funny. I told my parents when I got home, too. And my mom was, like, cry laughing, because it was just, like, this is ridiculous, man. But anyway, that's the story. They got me out pretty quick, you know? And again, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't scared. I was a little nervous, because I was like, oh god, like, I don't, like, you know, I don't want the fire department to show up and this be a whole production and whatnot, because that just sucks for people, but... No, the superintendent got me out pretty quick, which is probably good, because he probably also didn't want the fire department showing up either. So, I did the right thing, chat. I called, I talked to the lady, she got me the superintendent, and I got out. So there you go. That is my story about how I got trapped in an elevator when I was trying to cheer up a friend. So, yeah. In the meantime, though, now that story's over... now for what we've all shown up for. Here we go. Hey. Welcome, everybody, to I went to another Warhammer tournament, and I done good. Thank you. Well, welcome to the stream. So, I went to a small local tournament in my area. Like I did last year. I attended a tournament last year, and this is the only way I play Warhammer. Oh, dude, I made such a better slideshow this year. It's crazy. I went crazy. There's a whole slideshow. Yeah, I got pictures, guys. I got pictures. I got images. I got stuff to. Yeah, it's been a whole year since my previous one. Now, not for a lack of trying, but so far tournaments have been the only way I've been able to play Warhammer. No, okay, before we get into this, so let me go over the previous tournament. So last year, I went to the same tournament. There was a lot more people, by the way. Turns out this one was a bit smaller because there was a bigger British Columbian tournament occurring at the same time. So people who would travel around and get, you know, points for tournaments didn't come to this one because they were at a big tournament. So it was less people this time, but that's perfectly fine. The last year's tournament, I faced one of the top 10 players in Canada. Not British Columbia, my province, but Canada. That was my first opponent. I had to fight the final boss as my first opponent in Warhammer. And the guy was very nice about it. He was very, very good. He was very nice about it. So I appreciate that. He was not at this tournament. He was probably at the big BC tournament, if I had to guess. So did you win? No, against him? No, I did not win. So the final boss of Canada, I'm gonna just call him the final boss of Canada. The final boss of Canada was not at this tournament this year. He was at a different tournament. So, but I did get another person who I played against. I actually went up against them twice. Ironically, I went up against them again in the second round of the tournament, which the first year, I also faced against that guy. His name's Michael. He's great. I actually remembered his name this time. Let's go. My brain worked. But Michael was, I played in my first tournament, and I played him again in my second tournament. So this is the second time we played against each other. So, yeah. I woke up, I was literally painting my army until the last possible second. So I went to this tournament with knights, Imperial Knights specifically. I brought my Ladies of Loyalty army. Let me move my slides here. Hold on, let me put this drink down here real quick, and there we go. All right. Let me click over to my slideshow, shall we? So, I went to a Warhammer tournament, alright? This was 500 more points than the previous tournament. It required 2,000 points of a fully painted models, but not everybody had fully painted armies. Most people did, but some people had, like, you know, half-finished armies. It was all good. I took my Ladies of Loyalty Freeblade Knight Army. I have lore for these guys, but it's more just for funsies. I never thought, Monty, that I'd ever want to see a PowerPoint. Thank you. Yes, you will enjoy this PowerPoint. If you like Captain Underpants, you might like this you might like this slideshow presentation. Lore now. Okay, to give you a quick overview about the Ladies of Loyalty Army. The Ladies of Loyalty Army are a loyalist Imperial Knights army. My Sarassus Knight Lancer is basically the matriarch of the family. Her Knight family was falling to chaos and she was pissed off about it, so she went to find some Space Marines to help stop that from happening. She ran into the Salamanders, and the Salamanders basically stopped her family from going to chaos. And she asked the Salamanders to kill her too because she was ashamed that her family would try and even attempt to fall to chaos. And the Salamanders were like, okay, lady, chill out a bit. Like, we're not going to kill you because then we can't use any of these knights, so instead you're going to redeem yourself. So, like, you know, make a new family, and it's always the Salamanders. Yes! Because I freaking love the Salamanders, man, okay? So, the Lancer lady basically created a new family where she would basically send her daughters off to summer camp to go and fight alongside other Space Marine legions, basically. So that's kind of the motif of the army, is that they're all different. They all work for different groups. And then their mom calls them in to go and fight occasionally. So mom will call them back from summer camp and make them go fight. And she's a little bit crazy. So that's the army lore, basically. Ladies of Loyalty. So my list contained, like, I had 3 Sarassus Knights. I brought a Sarassus Knight Lancer, Acheron, and Castigator. The Acheron is a meme, because it's shit, but I brought it anyway, because it looks great, and actually performed reasonably well, you know? It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't terrible either. I brought 2 Knight Armiger Warglaves, and I brought 3 Knight Armiger Helverins. I also got only 2 hours of sleep before the tournament. I finished painting my Castigator, and then I went to sleep for 2 hours, and then I woke up. So this is what I'm bringing to the tournament: 2 hours of sleep and a dream. So my goal is to go 0-3 and look real good doing it. That was my goal going to this tournament. That is my goal for every tournament. You can't fight crime if you're not cute. That is my philosophy. Does she have any sons, or does she send them to the orphanage? So far in lore, she has 1 son, and he pilots a warlord class titan. That's her 1 son that she has. The rest are all daughters. And her eldest daughters have the other 2 Sarassus Knights. So that's her eldest daughters. Here is the army. I'm very proud of it. I painted this myself, by the way. So my 3 Sarassus Knights, I'm very proud of my Sarassus Knight Castigator. That is the one that I finished the night before. And then I had the Acheron. So the Sarassus Knight is Blood Angel themed. The Acheron is Death Watch themed. And then the Lancer is Salamander themed. And then obviously I have a Raven Guard Armiger, a Imperial Fist Armiger, a Ultramarine Armiger, a White Scar Armiger called Grass Kicker, and then a Space Wolf Armiger as well, which I just call Wolf. I haven't named all of them yet. I will probably name them later. Any plans to add the Warlord to the list? Maybe. If I can find space to store a Warlord Titan, maybe. But yeah. So, I brought a Sarassus Knight Castigator with Judicant's Helm, which basically, I can choose a knight within 12 feet of this model, and it ignores cover. Okay, chat. 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 When I pulled this model out of the transport case, chat, I once again felt like the prettiest girl at the prom. Because I pulled this out, and everyone at the tournament was like, oh my god. Like, people were taking pictures of it during the tournament, and like they were like, you gotta enter that into like a golden demon, and like everyone was like, oh my god, that's so sick, that's so cool. And I felt like the prettiest girl at the prom. I was like, oh, thank you. I painted it and I worked on this so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I felt very tickled. It was very, very nice. So, yes, this was my Cerastus Knight Castigator. I had a vision for this, chat. Like, when so, I bought this model myself. I put it on Throne, but I ended up just, like, buying it myself through Throne. I would just throw kind of money every month at it, because once I got, like, the Lancer and the Acheron, I was like, I really want the 3 Amigos. I want the 3. And so I got the Castigator, and I had a vision in my head for the Castigator. I was like, I want to do, like, a bloody, like, heavy Catholic, like, you know, like, angel, like, you know, with, like, red and gold and, like, filigree and, like, you know, really, really awesome pose. I looked up images of angels by Michelangelo and, like, other Renaissance artists, like, lesser-known Renaissance artists, specifically angels wielding swords. So this pose is actually from a painting of an angel basically fighting a demon. It was really cool, really beautiful, beautiful piece. And then the basing, I got a figurine from like a used item shop with Darcy, and obviously got some flowers, and I got some like cathedral-y floor. So I'm pretty proud of how it came out. I think it looks pretty neat, you know. So brought my Cerastus Knight Castigator with Judicant's Helm, which basically the Judicant's Helm, if I could basically choose a model and be like, hey, you know that there's a building there? No, in fact, there's not. You just ignore cover. So it basically lets me, like, shoot through walls. Then I brought the Acheron with the Lancer Sigil. So the Acheron is kind of a flamer and also has the giant chainsword. The Lancer Sigil basically gives a model within 12 feet at the beginning of the charge phase, gives them an additional 2 inches of movement to move, basically. So that's the Lancer Sigil, and that's the Cerastus Knight. This one's Deathwatch themed. This story for this pilot is that she is, like, I think the eldest daughter. She fell in love with the Space Marine, even though the Space Marine feels absolutely nothing towards her. And then that Space Marine died to Tyranids. And then she begged her mother to join the Death Watch so she could kill Xenos, because she hates Xenos, basically. Like, specifically Xenos more than anything else. So she joined the Death Watch with her Cerastus Knight Acheron, and now fights for the Death Watch until her mom calls her back to fight with her. Hello, Angel Horizon. Hello, hello. So that is with that 12-foot range, is there ever a time when something is out of range? Yes! At 12 feet seems like a lot, but once you get into the game, it's really not a lot. Oh, hey! Oh my god, chat, this is the final opponent I faced in my final match of the tournament. I let them know I was gonna stream, and I gave them my business card. Hello, hello, hello. It was Emerson, I believe. Would you prefer if I go by Angel? I put your name in just because, you know, slideshow, but you can hear about how the other games went, dude. Hello, welcome, welcome. Yeah, this was my final opponent at the tournament. He's here to proof check your recap. Yeah, right. You could be like, nah, that's not how that went. You're full of shit. You're lying. So, Cerastus Knight Acheron with Lancer Sigil. Hey, I like Tabuya. Thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Angel Horizon. Thank you so much. You have emotes now. Hell yeah. I let them know I was going to stream around 6 and 7, so. So, Acheron. And then Cerastus Knight Lancer with Iron Chalice. Now, the Iron Chalice never went off in the entire competition. Iron Chalice, basically, any knight within 12 inches can heal, like, D3 wounds, basically, at the beginning of some phase. I can't remember. I never used it, because I didn't really have to. So those were kind of like, these 3 were, like, the main bulk of the army, was these 3 big knights. However, I have to shout out 2 of my armigers. First of all, the unkillable armiger of power. This armiger, this Raven Guard armiger, was a monster in my first 2 games, chat. This thing, single-handedly, like, this thing, the one-winged angel, yes. The one-winged angel, this thing is incredible. Like, you need to understand, this thing pulled off some miracles. The pilot should be promoted? Yeah, I think so. I think so. This thing was absurd. We also have, these were my notes, by the way. I printed off my, my army off of, New Recruit. And then I also had a lovely note here from Mr. Gim Gam Goomba himself. Because I asked, Gaijin for some advice how to run my army, because Gaijin also runs Imperial Knights. And he said, if you can remember one thing, tank shock with your Lancer every turn. Because it's free. Basically, tank shock is like, am I close to you? You're afraid. Take damage automatically. And I get to do that for free with the Lancer. It's an innate Lancer ability. So, yeah. So I have a little note there. Alright, so here are the players at the tournament. We had 7 players and 7 unique armies. We did have someone drop out. We had 8 people and then a person dropped out, so we had 7 people, which means we had a bye. So I was there on Imperial Knights. We had a player playing Death Guard. We had Imperial Guard, or Astra Militarum, if you're a Zoomer. Craftworld Eldari, which was, they were painted. Oh my god, the Craftworld Eldari. They had, like, I don't even know what it's called. It's like a big ship. It was beautifully painted. It was really good. We had Tau, and we had Deathwatch, which was our final opponent, which was what Angel Horizon ran. And then we had someone with a custom Space Marine chapter army list, which was something Drakes. I can't remember what the name was, but it was like something Drakes. So pretty good all-around spread. We had some tankier stuff. We had some shooters. We had, you know, didn't really have like a dedicated melee. I was kind of melee-y a little bit, but like not really a dedicated melee. So first round. I get paired against Imperial Guard. Now, there were 2 armies I didn't want to fight. Well, not didn't want to fight, but I was worried about fighting at the tournament. It was Vanguard Task Force with the Custom Marines. I just couldn't remember what the chapter name was. Because they had like a whole thing. I didn't face them, but yeah. So I had my Imperial Knights versus the Imperial Guard. Versus an opponent named Foster. He was great. He was super here's the thing, chat. Everyone at the tournament was super chill. Like, everyone was there at, like, 8 in the morning. I got up at 8 in the morning for this shit. I woke up at, like, 7 a.m. I packed my stuff. I swung by Tim Hortons, picked up, like, a breakfast sandwich and, like a hot chocolate. I sat down in the parking lot of the game shop, and I just ate in the parking lot like a horrible heathen. I was just like eating my breakfast sandwich, like bleary-eyed from my 2 hours of sleep. And then, you know, we all loaded in and we were ready to play some Toy Soldiers, man. And everyone was super chill and super down to play. Like, everyone had cool as shit armies, and like no one was taking it too seriously, you know? The comp players went to an out-of-town tournament. Yeah, I was mentioning that. Yeah, Angel Horizon. I mentioned that. I was like, there was like some other thing in BC that was happening, if I'm not mistaken. I did not get stuck in another elevator on my way there. There's no elevators at the game shop, thankfully. So I get grouped up with Foster and his Imperial Guard, and his guard army was sick. It was like desert themed. It was desert themed Imperial Guard, with a bunch of commissars, bunch of tanks. You'll see pictures. And Ursula Creed was there, and I was very excited to see Ursula Creed in this army. So, I got on a table, which was, K deployment? I can't remember what it's called. It was Search and Destroy, 4 deployment. So, immediately, a bit of a problem for my army. I have a lot of big things. And this deployment was a very small deployment with the way the terrain setup was. So, I was very crammed in this deployment. But it's the first match, you know, and I was like, okay, well, you know, first match, I'll get into a different deployment later, but the first match, I had a very tight deployment. So this was my deployment. I didn't really know what I was doing. Again, this was my, Mission K Layout 4. Yeah. So this was my deployment. I put a bunch of my big boys in the front, and then I kept my Helverins back. The objective to the left was no man's land, technically, so I wanted to, you know, seize that objective. Now, you may notice over here, some boys. These were Gaunt's ghosts. Yeah, these are some boys. So he deployed some boys. into this area to contest this point that I wanted to get. You can see as well, he had a lot of tanks, had a lot of boys, and also there's my hot chocolate, my Timmies. So, yeah. So, I deploy somewhat aggressive, but still kind of not really knowing what I was doing, because again, this is my first game in a year. I haven't played since the previous tournament, and this is my first time running the army, even. I'm glad I went with knights. It made my turns go way faster, especially considering that, like, the Saracens Knights all have somewhat similar stat blocks, and then the Helverins and the Warglaives are also somewhat similar. So I deploy. There are my boys. Look at that. Also, that dice tray, chat. This dice tray. Fantastic investment. I got a big dice tray for Warhammer. I'm sorry, IR Dice. I betrayed you a little bit, but I got a big dice tray because I throw my dice quite a bit. So I deploy my ladies. They're all here. This knight, you'll see it frequently. This one just hides in this corner building. This is meant to stay back. So, this is their army. Look at the paint job on this, guys. Like, the camo, like the desert camo, and like all the camo. They had a bunch of Krieg. They had the Krieg commander guy on a horse, who was really, really cool. Ogrins. While the pictures show them with guns, they were melee Ogrins. I don't remember tanks. I think these are these Rogaldorns? I thought this is the Rogaldorn, right? This has got to be the Rogaldorn. Lehman Russ. Yeah, his tattoos are sick too, eh? Super sick tattoos. Bunch of tanks. He had like this really cool artillery cannon that was like, had like a canopy and like was all based up. It was super, super nice. I cannot zoom in. I'm sorry. I'm on a slideshow, chat. I'm so sorry. So, you know, he's laying down the sights on my boys. I can't really benefit a whole lot from cover. But, you know, he lays them out pretty good. So immediately turn one, I approach aggressively. I spread out pretty aggressively. I immediately charge in. You don't see it, but there was a tank here. I stabbed that tank and the tank died. So I immediately charge in very aggressively, and I take this point in the middle, and I kill a tank, and then I start to move my boys over here. I'm trying to he's got boys over here. I want to kill his boys over here because I want this point too. I want to try and control these 3 points if I can. So I move up pretty aggressively, I flank with this guy, and I move forward. Now, he kind of stays back, but he specifically avoids going for this knight with his Ogren, which is really, really smart. Now, these Ogren here, chat, these are the MVPs of this fight. These Ogren did their fucking job. So he's got a group of engineers here, he's got a bunch of Kasserkin, and a bunch of tanks and some more Kasserkin to hold this point. I charge aggressively in, I take a bunch of tank shots, but I'm still standing. However, he grenades the shit out of my guys. He grenades the ever-loving crap out of it. So this thing has 28 HP, it's at 22. It dies to grenades pretty quickly. Eventually, he just full-on charges in. You can see, this is Ursula here, she's missing a head, don't worry about that. He's avoiding me with the Ogrins, but he's moving a bunch of his infantry in, and then he charges in with the Rogaldorn and just point-blank shoots me for a ton of damage. I get grenaded, I get shot at, I get grenaded multiple times. The engineers do some sort of ability, which is a metric buttload of damage, and then I just get point-blank shot with like 2 tanks. Meanwhile, he then sends in the Ogren to block this point. So you see behind me, there's this choke point over here, right? This is like a narrow choke point here. He doesn't want to gum up this. He wants to gum up this. And he does so. He sends in his boys, and they gum up this part. So now nothing can make their way through, and he basically holds this Warglaive here. Because my goal is to approach rapidly with my Lancer, push everything off, and then have a Warglaive come up behind and take the point. That's my brain. That's me using like 2% of my brain, not knowing the game very well. I'm like, this feels like a good strategy. Send the Lancer in, have it clear stuff out, and then have another thing sit on this point and hold the line while the Lancer maybe can approach or can maneuver around if necessary, or just melee anything that comes close to it. But unfortunately, my opponent, who's very smart, gums up my Warglaive, so that way I can't do that with his Ogren. And here's just a little bit of take a little sippy drink here. Eventually, he blows up my Lancer. He dumps so much into the Lancer. And I reposition some stuff around. Now, his Gaunt's ghosts are over here. I can't kill them with my knight. So I just swoosh my Acheron over here just to hold this point, basically. Because I want to maintain this for, I think I had an objective for it. He kills my Lancer, and he positions in a way where we're all kind of contesting. I move my wolf in to contest this point. And it's just a full-on brawl in the middle. It's a full-on brawl. I'm firing with this into his stuff. I kill a bunch of infantry with both of these, and then eventually I get into melee with his Rogaldorn tank. Which the guy was a gentleman. At one point, he's like, oh, hey, I did technically do this. You get to attack on me, and we forgot to do that. Let's do that real quick. Which was very, very nice. He was a very honorable player. I felt really bad because he's like, oh, hey, you get a free swing on me because I did X, Y, and Z. We should resolve that first. And I was like, oh, he's like, we should have done that. I then proceeded to kill his Rogaldorn tank with my Castigator, and I felt like the biggest asshole in the world. Because he was like, hey, this rule. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for being honest and truthful. I even said to him, like, if this was D&D, I would have given you heroic inspiration, you know, for being honest and truthful and, like, doing the right thing. His reward, though, however, was me blowing up his big tank, and I felt like an asshole. However, oh my god, okay, let's get to this. So, eventually what happens is I need to move my Acheron up. He takes his Gaunt's ghosts, his handsome boys, and he calls them back, because he can do that. He extradites his boys out, and so I move my Acheron up to kind of help contest this a lot more and give a little bit more of a threatening presence. And then I move this Helverin onto this point, basically. Again, this armature, chat, you need to understand, it is God, chat. This armature sits back on the point. He sends back in the boys. The boys return with a vengeance, and he rolls in with another tank, and he fires so much shit onto this knight, it survives on 1 HP, and it keeps the point for me. I don't lose the point because my quality for, like, keeping points, like, holding this objective is stronger than what he has on the field for it. So this knight survives with 1 HP and manages to hold the point. Legendary shit, man. This thing is the MVP of my army. This armature is the strongest thing in my fucking army, dude. So it manages to hold the point. I then send in... Does my Acheron die first or my Castigator? I think my Acheron... The Castigator dies next. So I move in with my Castigator to try and hold the point. My Warglaive is fighting with these Ogryn here, and my Helverin is shooting into his chaff units, basically. But he's still got, like, 2 tanks and this big artillery cannon, and they are taking their bounty, chat. Like, that's the point in time where you modify it to represent battle damage for its feet or add some medals to it. It needs a name. I have to give it a name. I think that's the honor it deserves. So I shift my Castigator over to maintain the point, so that way I have 2 bodies on this point. So if this goes down, I still have it. So I'm firing into this stuff, I'm slashing into this, and I'm firing into this. And my Helverin is shooting into Ursula Creed and her boys. However, I'm not doing too hot. Well, okay. So, yes, Acheron dies. I don't know how the Acheron dies, but the Acheron dies. The Acheron dies first. So, my Castigator is holding the point. And eventually, my opponent surrounds me with infantry to just keep my Castigator pinned onto that point, because he doesn't want me charging his tanks. Because if I charge his tanks, that's his firepower. Take a bit of a drink here. So I go in with my Castigator. I'm holding this point, and I'm at really low health, because these tanks are shredding me, man. These tanks are kicking my ass. And then Ursula Creed, this boss-ass bitch, strides in, chat. She walks up into melee with my Castigator, goes, die, bitch, proceeds to approach rapidly at a rapid rate of pace. Bang! Bang! And literally blows it up. It had 1 HP, and Ursula Creed, with her fucking sword, stabs my knight and blows it up. What a queen, dude. What an absolute unit. I remember rolling my... I had 2 saves I needed to make against Ursula Creed, and I have never before in my life been like, I've never wanted to fail a roll so hard. Ever. This is some legendary shit. And, like, he killed my knight, my last knight with Ursula frickin' Creed, dude. What a woman. What a woman, dude. Oh my god, I love her. So, I'm on the back foot. I only have my armigers left. My Ultramarine armiger gets blown up, and then he rolls in with his tank to try and contest this middle point. My Imperial Knight's armiger has just been sitting back there just vibing. And then unfortunately, our Raven Guard does fall. I believe the last round I pulled Assassinate for one of my secondaries, which basically gets me points. Which meant I had to kill a character. So in the final bout, I tried to move my my knight over here to shoot at a character who was over here. But I failed to kill them by, like, 2 damage. And unfortunately, I did not get that secondary. But all in all, really fun match. I mean, you can already see, like, I killed a lot of tanks. He obviously killed a ton of my knights. It was a really, really good game. At the end, I had 65 points, and Foster had 82 points. And there was a gentleman, I didn't get his name. There was a gentleman who was playing Death Guard. And he was the buy-in, so he didn't have a game first round. But he was there, and he was kind of just helping me out with, like, basic rules and stuff. Hello, Lucky the Slime, hello. He basically, like, just hung around our table just to kind of help me, like, oh, hey, this is what this means, or like, oh, this is what twin linked mean, and this is what, you know, sustained hits means. And kind of, like, explain stuff to me, which I really appreciated that, because I am still pretty new to the game. It's that sort of thing where I slowly, like, learn the game. Yeah, I lost. Dude, his firing, like, his shooting was insane. He was rolling pretty good, too. He also had a lot of grenades. And I think that did him a ton of favors. He had a lot of grenades. So we had a break. I went and got some water, because I forgot a water bottle. I forgot a water bottle and a pencil, which I felt like an idiot, chat. Who forgets a water bottle and a pencil? But I learned a lot from that game. I learned that I should probably have my warglaive. I should be probably further up the board. And that I should be very maneuvery, a little bit more maneuvery. But again, I was like, I'm gonna have a different table. So it's going to be a different, like, deployment and all that jazz. Now, in terms of the armies that were there, the 2 armies I didn't want to, like, not that I didn't want to face it, but I knew I would have a hard time with, was this army, the Imperial Guard army with a buttload of tanks and shooting, and also a Tau army. My second round was against the Tau army. This Tau army, was the scariest thing at the tournament for me, chat. This Tau army was a railgun-centric, storm surge wielding, anti-Titanic, anti-vehicle Tau army. So rerolls on 1s, hitting on 2s, anti-vehicle shooting, anti-Titanic shooting, infantry can flee into tanks, exploding 6s the further the game goes. This was bad news bears. And I was very scared. This was also, the opponent who I faced in the previous tournament. I actually won against him in the previous tournament when I brought my salamanders. So this was the same player. This was Michael. Michael was a bro. Michael was very nice. He's also a high-level player as well. Like, he's also a tournament player by the sounds of things. Like, he had stuff from, like, LVO and stuff, and, like, he's won stuff at LVO. It was not Triptide. He was not running Triptide. He was running a lot of Hammerheads. Hammerhead gunships. He had some Flamer mech boys. He had some infantry boys. He had a lot of, shield generators. He had a lot of, we'll see his army. You'll see his army. I'll show you his armies. But needless to say, was that the one that was on PlayOn? Yes, he did play on PlayOn, actually. Michael was a guest on PlayOn. I don't know what episode. But yeah, he was on Play On. He even had like Play On markers and stuff. It was very, very cool. He had some really cool stuff. I played him last year too. He was an absolute delight. And like our game, okay, chat, let me just say this right now. Our game was like the sweatiest game I've ever played. Like not because we were like being gamers and being sweaty, because I was physically sweating. My hands were getting clammy from this game. This game was insane. The moment I realized what his army was, I was like, okay, I might be cooked here. I might be cooked here, but I have a chance. I have a chance. I gotta believe in myself, but it's looking a little scary. Looking a little scary, chat. The spaghetti was coming out of my pocket. Yeah, it was like, I was quite nervous. But maybe with the right deployment, maybe with the right stuff, it would be fine. Unfortunately, I got the exact same table, chat. I got stuck on the exact same table with the exact same deployment. And I was like, son of a bitch, this sucks for me. Not only am I facing a very heavy shooting army, I am once again on the most pigeonholed, like, deployment area. Again. The benefit, though, is that I already played the field, so I had a kind of already an idea of, like, how to kind of reposition and maneuver, so that was a benefit. But I was back on the same goddamn map. But it's fine. So I deploy way more aggressively here. I had a plan. My plan was run in and bother you. My plan was to charge in super hard and super fast with both my Castigator and my Lancer and try and split his attention. So my plan was to charge it with the Lancer. Oh, by the way, there was a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament happening at the same time once this match started, which was great. The place was full. It was great. Thankfully, everything smelled pretty good. There was no real rank stench. That was nice. So my plan was to really threaten with the Castigator and really threaten with the Lancer, and then have the Acheron come up and try and hold this point. Same strategy as last time, just a bit more intense. I maneuvered a Helverin with this unit, so that way I could get my shooting through walls benefit. And then I also brought this up just a little bit more, and then I had more pressure on the left side as well. And then, of course, the Imperial Fists just sat back here. They live here. This is their house. They live here. So as you can see, Hammerhead, 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 Storm Surge, I believe. This guy, Lone Operative guy, Infantry, and then these are the Flamer boys in the back, and then some more infantry. They were inside of this gunship, I believe. That's my army deployment. There they are. What color and flavor were his dice? He used a lot of orange dice and white dice. It was a lot of white and orange, and green. He had green too, I believe. But he was kitted out. Like, he had stuff. Like, he was very prepared. This guy plays Warhammer. Like, he plays Warhammer. Yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh players, like, they got... Listen, Magic players, the Yu-Gi-Oh players were... They smelled pretty good. I mean, not very good, but they didn't stink. That's the biggest thing. So I roll in. That's my deployment. This is his army. A little bit more close up. The paint job's great. I like the gold and the blue. It's very nice. Oh my god, sorry. Sorry, chat, it's getting colder here. My sinuses are not a fan. So, yeah, I love these dice, too. He had these, like, really cool red dice that I use a lot. But yeah, really, really cool army. Really well painted. Super, super awesome to see. He also had this. This old chestnut made a reappearance. So last year I made a video where I kind of, like, rolled over and I was like, uh-oh. So I don't know what this is. It's called a Manta, yeah. He had a Manta in reserves. And this thing, unlike the last time we played, actually saw the field and actually did shit. So yes, he brought a Manta to the tournament. Still unpainted. I scolded him. Like, oh, it's not painted. Come on, you gotta paint it. You know, that looks like such a fun model to paint, too, as well. Yeah, the Beast Blade. That was a chunk of resin. Chunk of resin, dude. So we had a Manta. 3 Cerastus Knights and a Manta on one playing field. What a crazy, like, oh man. You'll see, it gets crowded real quick. So again, I go super aggressive. Turn 1, I go very aggressive, and I get unpunished for it. Genuinely. He missed a metric buttload of shots, chat, in this first round. So, basically, I do exactly what I do. I charge with my knight, I kill this lone operative. I then proceed forward and move with this knight to threaten this control point, and also to threaten these. I'm trying to choke him out. I want to try and, like, surround him and, like, just beat the shit out of him as much as possible. Acheron, once again, also behind. I then shift my Warglaive over here because I want to threaten this point, and then I have 2 Armigers over here just to kind of ferry this one, and they can also move into the middle if necessary. I want to avoid going too crazy in the middle in case I get, like, choked up again, because I learned my lesson. So that's basically my play. I don't die from this too much. I take some damage, I take some chip damage, but nothing dies. Which, this Tau shooting army is built to kill me instantly. Like, it is built to, oh my god. Hello, hanky-panky. Mommy spank me. Hello, how are you doing? Also, Q Call, thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. First time chatter. Hello. So I come in, he plants the manta, and there's lots of shooting that happens. Second round, so first round goes great for me. First round, I kill some stuff, I survive, I'm doing okay. I managed to get 3 points, including 2 in No Man's Land, and I'm doing good on my objectives, my secondary objectives, basically. My secondary objectives, I'm killing it. I'm doing a great job. Second round, not so much. Second round, my Castigator gets blown up, and he begins to move his infantry to do exactly what had happened last time. So he moves up his infantry here to plug this hole, to protect all of this. He does not want my Lancer getting in on his boys again. The first time I played against Michael, I gored this Storm Surge and killed it in 1 shot, and then it exploded. So I really wanted to get through, but I was stopped by the infantry, basically. But I had my Acheron. I wanted to use my Acheron on this infantry to try and kill it. Meanwhile, my 2 boys are still prowling up. I still have some pressure on this side of the map. However, the shooting now is starting to get dangerous. 6s are starting to explode now. However, I'm doing pretty good on my secondaries. Third round happens. My Lancer gets blown up immediately. He then loads in all of his boys, the surviving boys, into this tank and avoids melee with this. He just kind of ignores this point, because I think he had a secondary where he's trying to get something on my side of the board, basically. The Manta Ray flies in, kind of shoots at some of these Armigers, doesn't really do too much, and flies in. So now I'm trying to hold this point with my Acheron. I have this Armiger here. I had to move back. Oh my god, that's right. I had to move back both my Warglaives because I got a secondary where if I have a unit within 9 inches of the corner of my side of the board, I get points. So I had to pull back my Warglaives, and so I had to pull back my Imperial Fist guy and my White Scar guy. I had to pull them back to get points. So then I also pulled back my Raven Guard Knight and my Wolf Knight to also maintain my ownership of these 2 sectors here. So basically 4 of my units pulled back, more or less, leaving these 2 up front by themselves. Not ideal, but I'm like, I can't survive this shooting. I gotta go for points here. Snowed in, IR safe, no work, no tomorrow. Oh, snow day! Yippee! Oh my goodness. It's cold here. It's only cold here right now. So I pull back. I have to pull back to get points, but I hold the point in the front. Now we get to the legend. His shooting is ridiculous. I need to hold with my Armigers here, because it's all I have left. He unleashes the boys. Out of this tank comes infantry, and then he calls in his Flamer Mech boys. And all of them, all of this, the railgun, and like a bunch of other shit, half of his army, essentially, chat, shoots into this Armiger. Once again, the Raven Guard Armiger is holding the exact same point for me. And this absolute legend survives. It takes so many shots. Again, hitting on 2s, exploding 6s, anti-vehicle. And this, he holds! He holds the line. He does not die, and he maintains that point. It's crazy. Oh my god, dude. This thing is my MVP. Look at him. Look at this champion. However, not all things can be, chat. While he did survive half the Tau shooting, it took the... So here's the thing. He shot everything into it with the hope of then moving his guys onto this point. The problem was, he had to spend all of his shooting to kill it. He had to spend all of his shooting to kill it, and he couldn't move on to the point. He couldn't consolidate onto the point. He just fucking held the line. So he couldn't get that point. And then I had an idea. This is like the final round as well. I lose my Acheron in the middle. He blows up my Acheron in the middle. I am at this point holding essentially 2 points. And he burns this objective, which basically means that if he is on it on my turn, like if I don't enter this objective, he gets this. He basically can burn it and gets extra points. So you can see he's got the play on tokens right there. So I get an idea. I get a rat idea. I still have my Ultramarine Armiger here. So I send that boy in. I send him in, he then fires on it trying to stop it, and it survives. And I prevent him from burning this. I contest this point. He doesn't get to burn it. He doesn't get the point from it because my quality to capture stuff is higher. So I capture this. I slip in and I capture this point. And he's unable to kill me and I get it. Chat, this game was such a close game. It was like the most, like, both of us were sweating. At one point, Michael goes, this is one of the best games I've played. He's like, this is like the second game I've played in like a year. And he's like, this game is so much fun right now. Because he's like blowing up my giant robots and I'm like trying to maneuver around. I'm like firing in on stuff and like trying to take control of the situation. And by the end of it, my boy, yeah, look at him go. Let's fucking go. This play won me the game, chat. This high-risk play won me the game. This rat play got me exactly the points I needed to win. This was a close match. I won 53-50, chat. This is my second win in Warhammer. I thought this guy was gonna get his revenge. I thought Michael had it in it to get revenge, man. Like, holy shit, dude. Crazy match. Like, I was getting the gamer sweats, dude. I was so sweat. Thank God I put on so much deodorant, because I was like, my hands were clammy. My hands were super clammy. Super clammy. But it was like, because the moment he's like, these are Titanic, and I'm like, yeah, he's like, I got a bunch of anti-Titanic. He's like, I got a bunch of anti-vehicle, anti-Titanic. You know, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, exploding 6s. Yeah, it's my second win against Michael, too. I was like, Michael, you gotta beat me next time. I'm like, you gotta win next time. I'm gonna start feeling bad, dude. Come on. Like, you gotta beat me. You gotta beat me, dude. He was, again, an awesome player as well. Total gentleman. He explained stuff really nicely to me. He was explaining what he was doing. That's the chat. If I can take away anything from this tournament, is that my opponents were, like, absolute gentlemen at the game. And they were very good about being like, hey, this is how this mechanic, like, this is how this mechanic works. And like, hey, don't forget you can do this. And they were, like, kind of reminding me, like, I should know my own army. I'm still learning. But, like, people were really, really good at being like, hey, like, this is the thing. You know what's really funny about this match? I messaged Gaijin on Discord going, Gaijin, I'm playing into Tau, like, anti-tank Tau. I might be cooked. And then I fucking won. I was like, I did it. Yeah, I kept checking in on that game, and it was definitely a battle of epic proportions. It was really funny, and I was very tickled because, like, people who were also playing would, like, you know, the people who had the buys or, like, the people who were just, like, kind of, like, around were, like, constantly coming to the table I was on because they were like, this is really fun to watch. Like, the Imperial Guard and my game, like my Knights Against Imperial Guard, the guy who got the buy-in was just, like, just watching the game. He's like, this... Because he was looking at the other tables, he's like, this is the most entertaining one. This is probably the most, like, wild table that we have, right? I was very flattered by that. I didn't want... When I came to this tournament, because I have a very significant lack of experience, And, like, I'll talk more about it at the end, but, like, I really wanted to not have the people playing against me have a bad time. Because, one, I'm new, I'm gonna be slower, I'm gonna be, like asking, like, what's Twin Linked? What's this? And I didn't want that to be annoying, and so I was a little nervous, like, even driving to the tournament, because I'm like, oh man, I really don't want to, like, roll up to the game, and the person's, like, really annoyed that I don't really know my rules all that well, because I'm newer. But, like, yeah, Michael will get his revenge. He deserves to get some revenge. What is this button? What is that button? What is that? What the heck is that? It's just, like, an effect? Huh. Ah. You're gonna make Michael turn to chaos. Nah, he seems like a ride or die tile player. His fucking, I don't know if you guys saw his dice tray. Yeah, his dice tray is Tau themed. He had like a Tau themed dice tray. It was handmade by a friend apparently, which is super cool. But yeah, fantastic painted army. He needs to paint this manta ray though. He needs to paint this thing. It looks so cool, but it's gotta be painted. But yeah, 53 to 50. Hibbity bimbles. You guys, it's funny because when the VOD, no one's gonna see it, but like they're doing effects in the Twitch chat, but it only shows up in Twitch chat. The day he paints that manta is the day he finally wins against you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You do get points for fully painted armies. You actually lose points if your army isn't fully painted, which is interesting. So at this point, my feet are like super hurting. I'm really hungry. We're rooting for you, Michael. Hey, you're supposed to root for me. I'm your streamer. Come on. No, Michael was great. He's a good opponent. I really, like, all of our games have always been, like nail biters every time. Like, even, like, as he was leaving, because he got the last bye, so he didn't have to play the final game. But he, even then, like, as he was packing up, he's just like, every game against you is like a nail biter. And I'm like, yeah. Every time we play against each other, it's a real fight. Which is fun. I mean, like, I genuinely, like, a close game is so much more fun. Because there's so much more involved. And, like, it was great. I had a blast. And then we had another break. I ran to, like, just a Shoppers. I picked up some granola bars and I just got a drink. I wasn't, like, terribly hungry because I ate a lot before the tournament. But I got a snack. You know, I got a drink and I got a snack. And then my final opponent, who's actually in chat, is, Angel. Angel stayed behind, to just keep an eye on everybody's armies, because I had, like, a big tote bin that I had all my boys in. And I left the Castigator on the table because it didn't fit in my bin, but, yeah, Angel watched everybody's armies while everybody else went out to get food. Last tournament we got pizza, but I guess there weren't enough people to warrant pizza this time around, so I just went out and I went to Shoppers and picked up a drink and some granola bars and got back to it. Final round was my Imperial Knights versus Angel Horizons Death Watch. I was so happy to fight Space Marines. I really wanted to fight one of the Space Marine armies, specifically because of my stupid idiot fanfiction, and I'm writing about a Death Watch kill team right now, and, you know, it was, yeah. Yeah, you were by round 2, that's right, yeah. So Angel was by round 2. The Death Guard player was by round 1. You were by round 2, and then Michael was by round 3. So, yeah. Ambiotic Sphinx, hello. Imp Knights, let's go. Hell yeah. Did you get your bioflavonoids? Nah, they don't sell Happy Planet at Shoppers. I got, like, it's called Peace Tea. I got Peace Tea, and I got some granola bars. Cheap and easy. And I got food on my way home. I was like, I just bought something kind of cheap, and then I was like, I'll just pick up something on the way home, because I figured I was going to probably eat and then pass out. But yes, I was against Angel's Death Watch. I felt bad, because Angel was like, oh god, like, I don't want to play against that. When people saw my army, a lot of people were like, I don't want to play against that. Because with Knights, they can kind of be unfun to play against. But I was not rolling up to the tournament with, like, the mid-max Knight list. I'm like, I painted these. I want to fight with what I have painted, and also, I want the 3 amigos. I want my 3 Cerastus amigos, even though the Acheron is a bit of a meme. I was excited by the time we started. Yeah, it ended up being, I think, one of the best. It felt really, like, it was fun, dude. It was so much fun. Like, I'll get into it more as we go on, but yes, it was me versus Angel's Death Watch. Now, you know, I was excited because I was stuck on the same table twice, so it meant like, okay, you know, new deployment, hopefully. No, I was trapped on the same table for the third match in a row! Ah! I got stuck on it's the same table! Ah! Oh my god, dude. Same table. I got the same table 3 times in the row with the smallest deployment. I'm back in the building again. So I was stuck on the same table for a 3rd time. The worst table for my army too. Like, I mean, at least on the bright side, I didn't have to, like, move, but I also packed my army each time with the intention to be ready to move. Oh my god, dude. Insano luck. This will be your home base at this rate. You deserve it. No, I don't deserve this. Oh my lord. I got banished to the search and destroy table, dude. But at this point, I knew the map at least. Like, I had the advantage of kind of knowing the deployment. I mean, that was the benefit. It was my first time playing on this layout. It was kind of neat. I thought it would have been neat if it was the only one I did. Like, if I got to do other ones. Because I didn't get to do any other deployments. Which I was like, damn it, I want different deployments. One, because I wanted to, like, spread out my army a bit more. And 2, I also wanted to learn other deployments. Are you allowed to ask for another table? No, the tournament organizer decides that. And Fate decided that I would be stuck on this table every single match. So, here we go! So, immediately, because the army was not very shooting heavy, there was you'll have to remind me, Angel, of what this knight is. I should know this, but I don't. They had a Gladiator Lancer, which, I love the Gladiator Lancer. That's one of my favorite tanks in, like, the arsenal. But we had, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you're here. Knight Castellan, we had a Gladiator Lancer, we had some Terminator boys, we had a Brutalis Dreadnought. Remember him, he's an important character for later. We had a big brick of boys, we had infiltrators over here, and we had a kill team over here with a, don't know, Judicator? What's it called? I should know this. Judicator, I think. So immediately, I'm aggressive. I'm going full aggression here. More just because I want to flood the field. Indomitor kill team, Deathwatch vets with Judicaire. Thank you. I should know this, but I don't. I just know kill teams. They used green dice like Tabuya. They actually had some really nice like teal dice that I was kind of envious of. I didn't mention it to you, Angel. I liked your teal colored dice. I thought they were quite nice. And then green. So immediately I'm going for kind of the same play. There's very few models over on this side, so I immediately put my Castigator up because I want to threaten these. And I don't want to get plugged up if I can help it. This was probably my kryptonite, was this plug point. So I move my Warglaives aggressively, I move my Helverins both on this side this time, and both my Warglaives on this side, and then of course, the Imperial Fist one lives in this house. This is his safe home, he lives here, that's where he belongs. So that's the deployment. Again, awesome army, like, really awesome. We kind of played it out that this was like a training exercise, like the Death Watch were trading with this Knight army to train against like Chaos Knights or something. Yeah, he built his wall saw. Yeah, exactly. That's right, we kept joking that he built the house, he wasn't gonna leave it. It's like, it's his wall, he made it, he's staying there. Or she's staying there, rather, because all the pilots are female, but whatever. It was very funny. So, immediately, round 1, I go full aggress. Like, I'm going full aggression here. I charge in, and I skewer every single boy here in the middle. I skewer every single boy here except for their leader. He survives. My Acheron can go through buildings and kills the kill team in here. And then I move this guy over here, and then I move these boys up. I move this Helverin up here, and then I keep this one kind of between the two to react to whatever needs to be reacted to. And then I go for a flank with this one, either to capture the point or to just go back here and try and threaten these Terminators. So, yeah. That was my first turn. It was a bit of a, yeah, a Gravis Captain and Judicar got left alone. Those were the only survivors. Them and the Brutalis Dreadnought, who I mentioned earlier and will be mentioned again. So that's a huge turn. I actually felt kind of bad because I tore through a lot and I just charged in and I'm exactly where I need to be, but I am gummed up again. My hope is I can like kind of pick off the rest with the rest of my army and then move my Lancer. I want my Lancer to engage this. That was my goal. I want this to stab this. So there's another angle of kind of the shot. So very aggressive. The only thing is I did fail to get this on this middle objective. It was literally just like a hair away. And I'd argue that because the Lancer was on this point and then it moved up, technically I wasn't on it. So for fairness, this didn't count as me being on the point. However, the next round... Oh yeah, you deployed your boys! So, these were reserves? What was this? This was, yeah, I think you just, like, you place these from reserve. Yeah, Fortis Kill Team. So, very intelligently, Angel deployed a kill team behind me. Specifically to harry my... Look at him in his house. To harry my Imperial Fist's Armiger. He deep striked them behind my line with this guy who was really cool. I really like this model. Such a fucking cool model. But he deployed some boys back here and immediately threatened my back line. So I actually had to pull back. I was really hyper aggressive, but then I had to kind of pull back a little bit. So my Lancer immediately gets gummed up by the Judicar, the Gravis Captain, and this Brutalis Dreadnought. This fucking Brutalis sorry about the gray I started in April. You're fine, dude. You're fine. This Brutalis Dreadnought is the MVP here, I think, of any game. This thing is insane. I kill all his friends. This Brutalis Dreadnought cracks its metallic knuckles and walks in and is like, you fucking what, mate? And just immediately charges into my Lancer and just and blows it up in one shot. I fail all of my 4-up invuln saves on my Lancer and he just blows it up with my with this Brutalis Dreadnought. He is the MVP. I told you, Angel, if you don't have a name for this Brutalis Dreadnought, it needs a fucking name. Or like a mark or something. This Brutalis Dreadnought, like, threw down the gloves, went in, and killed my knight. My Cerastus knight. You need me to see, you need to see him kill it again? Okay, it was like this. And then that. And then he won. He is the winner. Honorable Ancient, whoever his name was not happy about being woken up for this shit. Could you imagine, if we were rolling with it was a training exercise, I bet he was pissed. Like, holy shit. So immediately, where I felt kind of bad, because I really wiped out a lot of boys, immediately the pendulum swung back into the Death Watch's favor. It was crazy, dude. It was so good. Like, it was so great. So immediately, I charge in with my Acheron, because I do not want this Brutalis to charge me again. That shit hurted. I move up both of my Armigers into this middle point, because at this point, this has moved, and this is just staying put. My Cerastus Knight Castigator gets blown up by the Gladiator Lancer and this Knight, and like a bunch of other, I think the Terminators too. So I immediately kind of focus on the middle point, because I have a pretty good wall here. But this is now gummed up by a Brutalis, the Judicar, and I think I killed... Oh, no, the Gravis Captain, the Brutalis, I'm pretty sure I killed the Judicar. Judicar? I'm pretty sure I killed the Judicar with a Helverin. So, this Helverin killed his other guy, but there were still two guys here gumming them up. Two separate unit targets, which was a bit of a tricky wicket. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna go for, like, just try and maintain what I have, not be as aggressive, and try and just hold what I can. However... These boys in the back, killed my Armiger back here. So I was like, shit, he managed to kill it, but he didn't have enough to file in and take this point. So this point was, like, removed. I burnt this objective, because I wanted to burn this objective so I could then move this guy over here. To, like, try and maintain this, basically, was my idea. basically, it was armature time. So I burned this objective. I took this objective with my White Scar with Grass Kicker. I was firing into this, and then I moved this, which is, I'm glad he kept him here. I moved this over to help try and stop this from happening. Like, this was a match, chat. Like, this was like round 2 as well.
You.
Stellar Coyote, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub for 17 months. Hope you had a good time warhammering. Did you win? We'll get to the final score here. So this is like round 2, and we're just having a blast, dude. Like this was just a fun game. And like people were coming over and watching and like, you know, peeking an eye on stuff, and like we were just playing and shooting the shit, and it was great. My Acheron held on, but it was not holding on for a long time. And unfortunately, we ran out of time. Like we like those hours like went by so quick, dude. Like, we were, like, really in it. We were really playing. I honestly think, had we played through the whole, like, all 5 rounds, I feel like Deathwatch would have taken it. Because I could only contest so much. But I was getting really good secondaries, honestly, in this match. I was getting the exact secondaries I kind of needed. But, like, you were also scoring really, really well. And ultimately what happened is that the event organizer came over and assessed, basically. Oh, dude, your Dreadnought also... By the way, I shot at that Dreadnought several times. I also meleeed it, and it took, like, 0 damage as well. That Dreadnought was not... Like, that Dreadnought was here to party, dude. It was so ready to hold the line. It was incredible. It was so awesome, dude. Oh, my God. It only took Mortal's tank shot. Yeah, I only did damage because of tank shock, and that was it. Like, I meleeed directly into it with a charge, and it took no damage. I shot at it with Melta and the Helver, and it took no damage. Absolute monster, dude. Absolute fucking monster. It was insane. It was crazy. I kind of want one now. I kind of want a Brutalis Dreadnought for my Salamander army. I'm not gonna lie. I might go and get one. I think that might be pretty fun. To get one for the army. So all in all, once the event organizer came around, ultimately he determined that the final score would be 83-61. I still feel like that could have swung back into Emerson's favor, but that's the way it was. But yeah, all in all, the tournament was great. We went from, oh god, when did we stop playing, Angel? It was like 7:40 or something like that. Like... Oh my god, here's the narrative I'm picturing. The knights and the Imperial Guard were practicing in some training. Then the Tau came in to preach the greater good and were slain. Then the Deathwatch arrived, alerted of the Xenos invasion, and released the knights and realized the knights were gene stealers or something. Oh my god. Yeah, it was forever. We started at like 8 a.m. Like, I was rolling on 2 hours of sleep. We started at 8 a.m. and then we probably ended at 8 p.m. It was like a full 12 hours. Like a full 12-hour day. It was insane, dude. My feet were killing me. But like me and Angel were just like, man, if we had 2 hours, we would keep playing. Even though my feet were like killing me, I was like, I could play this round for another 2 hours if I had to. I was so in it. In fact, when the organizer came by and was like, you have 15 minutes, I felt my heart sink. I was like, I want to play more. But the store was closing, so we couldn't stay. We had to go. Dude, I have the comfiest shoes. I have nursing shoes. By the way, chat, if you ever want, like, good, like, quote-unquote, like, standing around shoes, get nurses' shoes. Nursing shoes are so good. That's what I wear everywhere, is I wear nursing shoes, because they're really, really comfortable. Like, my feet didn't hurt until kind of the end of the second round. But by the third round, like, when I was walking out and, like, like, my feet hurt. So, pack dollar stuff. I ended up winning Best Player Award, or Best Player Attitude Award, which was super, super cool. I won that last year as well, and I was just like, oh, shucks. I wanted to, you know what's fucked up? I wanted to win Best, because last year they had a Best Painted Army Award, and I wanted that award, because I wanted... I wanted to win that award this year, but they didn't have that award this year. And I got Best Player Award, and I'm like, that's fine, too. Like, that's fine. But, like, yeah, I got, yeah, Best Sportsmanship, that was it, yeah, Best Player Sportsmanship Award, which, again, I was just there to have some good games, so I have that gift. You know what, honestly, I think that gift card might be going into my own Brutalis Dreadnought. I kind of want that. I want a Salamander Brutalis Dreadnought. I think that would be cool as shit. I think that would be super rad. But no, 3 incredible rounds. All my opponents were super duper nice as well. Like, everyone was very patient with me. They also were really like, you know, they were like, oh, hey, you know, you can do this thing. I should let you know, and I'm gonna let you do it because you should have done it, but you didn't know, so I'm gonna help you out. Or like, hey, you know, when you declare shooting, you have to choose first, but you don't know that, so we'll just let it slide, but now you know for next time. Like, people were very good about, like, kind of teaching me the game and then realizing, like, oh, hey, you wouldn't know this, so you're not, like, you know, yeah, the charge interaction, stuff like that, yeah. Like, people were super good about being like, hey, I understand you're newer, I'm gonna be, you know, a bit more patient with you, but I'm gonna explain it to you and, like, whatnot. And again, I wasn't there to win. I literally, like, when I was loading everything up, I'm like, I'm ready to go 0 and, like, 0-3. Like, I'm like, every time, like, last year I also was like, I'm gonna go 0-3. This year I went 2-0, which is crazy to me. Which is pretty crazy, especially against the Tau army. I'm not gonna, I thought I was dead to rights, genuinely, with the Tau army. A miracle happened, man. It was a miracle. And honestly, I feel like if we played all the rounds, I probably wouldn't have won the last game, but it was ultimately the organizer's choice. But in the end, though, 3 incredibly good games of Warhammer. Like, a little rusty in the first game, but the player I was playing against was super, super awesome and, you know, really passionate about his army and painting his army. And I told him, like, you need to finish, you know, Ursula Creed. That is my wife. You need to finish Ursula Creed. That woman is great. And, you know, second round was, like, just a nail biter, and Michael was a great opponent. And the last round was, like, just super fun. Like, just a genuinely really fun game. And I love the swing of the Brutalis Dreadnought, like, just changing the course of the battle. That was so fun. So, yeah, that was my second tournament. I definitely want to try and play more Warhammer this year. I meant to do so last year, but then life kind of, you know, came up and destroyed stuff. There is a more, like, spaced out league, which I wouldn't mind joining. It is a bit tricky getting into the tournaments with a higher point value. I am glad I have a 2,000 point army. It was hard to scrape together 1,500 points in last year's tournament. I really want to play more of my Salamanders, but I do enjoy my Knights, and I'm glad. Here's the thing, chat. My biggest goal coming to this tournament is I wanted my opponents to have a good time playing against Knights, because I was scared I would show up, and then someone would play against me, and then they wouldn't have a good time. Like, that was just, like, that was my biggest concern, is I didn't want to, like, show up and be that person who brought, like, this army that's really not fun to play against. Because, like, so often I hear about, like, from Knight players that people just don't want to play with them because, like, it's, you know, it's not a fun time. And I was like, I really want to have a fun time. I want my opponent to, not just for me to have a fun time, I want my opponents to have a fun time. And I think that's what makes me so happy, like, what made me so happy coming home. Like, I was driving home and I'm like, that was so much fun, that was so much fun. It was, like, the fact, a straightforward good time, yeah. I think that's the part that made me so happy, was that, like, all my opponents left the table, I assume, like, all my opponents left the table pretty happy, and I left the table extremely happy as well. We had to load out, I got in my car, I warmed up, and I picked up some gas, I picked up some food on the way home. I proceeded to get home, and I told, you know, Arkolf and all my friends about, you know, the tournament and how I still had that excited energy. I was like, oh my god, like, this happened and that happened, and this Brutalis Dreadnought, like, blew up my knight in one turn, and Ursula Creed, like, stabbed my knight to death, and, like, and I was like, and then, like, the unkillable machine that was my Raven Guard knight, which I love, like, I'm like, this is so awesome. It was so freaking cool. My feet were killing me, so I you know, I had a bath, and then I proceeded to just, like, pass out. I passed out in the bathroom. And then I literally, like, went to bed, and I woke up, like, I slept for, like, I went to bed at, like, what time? It was, like, probably, like, 9 p.m., 9 or 10 p.m., and then I woke up today at, like, 2 in the evening. So, I slept. I was very exhausted, but, yeah. What's more fun than seeing a powerful woman beat? Yeah, exactly. Women are strong. Women are powerful, and I am afraid of them. But no, this was an absolute blast. Gaijin thinks I should switch out for Warglaves. I kind of liked having the Helverins, I'm not gonna lie. They got a lot of work done. The Warglaves didn't do a lot. Like, they were okay, but they, like, the Helverins were much more of a threat. So I'm really happy with the Helverins. I'm really glad I brought them, even though the one in the middle really didn't do too much and they got blown up. They were literally just hid inside a house and then men approached their houses and blew them up. But all in all, it was super, super good. And I had a blast. I learned a lot too, and I felt a lot more comfortable on this army than my salamanders. I also learned about some apps and stuff at the tournament that were like super duper useful. So I think Gobs does Thursday night tables if you ever want to play more. I am busy on Thursday. Thursday I'm crammed, but I'm hoping to eventually like maybe go more on Monday nights. For Warhammer and stuff. Yeah, I literally run D&D and then I've double dosed D&D on Thursdays, unfortunately. I'm so sorry, Angel. But I definitely want to play more, that's for sure. I want to get into Kill Team. I think the next project I want to do is a Brothers Albatross Kill Team. I think might be my next project. I also learned how to make my own decals. That was also something I learned there as well. Someone taught me like how I can print my own decals. Cute model. Also surprised I wasn't following before. Oh, thank you, Cerberus Magician. Thank you so much. But yeah, that was my tournament experience. It was really, really fun. I had a great time. I'm really glad I'm getting to Warhammer. It's been a very fun hobby so far. Plus, it feels really good. Like, I will say this. Tournaments and, like, just playing games is a great motivator for painting as well. Like, I didn't feel rushed. I wish for this knowledge I need Deathwatch decals. Apparently, a gentleman said like if you have a laser printer, if you have the right printer, you can actually buy the decal paper off of like Amazon for dirt cheap. And if you have the right type of printer, you can print off decals onto the paper, and it's way less expensive. And you can put anything you want on it as well, which is really cool. So I want to try doing that because like, yeah. Honestly, I might look into it because I use a printer frequently anyway. I don't know if mine is a laser printer. I'd have to check, but my mother might have one. My mother, they're expensive, yeah. My mother actually might have one because of her work. So I might check and see if any of my friends have them, because if they do, I could just maybe borrow them because I wouldn't really need it for too much else. I might have to look and see if any of my artist friends have laser printers. Because I like the printer I have, but I don't think it's a laser printer. It's pretty good. Some cheaper color lasers used to be on the market, but the color reproduction sucked. Naruhodo. For color, laser printers are real expensive. Beans. Yeah, I might have to ask around. I'll have to ask my parents and my mom and see if she has one. If not, then maybe one of my artist friends. Because Draco might have one. Draco might have a laser printer, but I'm not certain. I'd have to check. But it would be nice. It honestly, it'd be a lot, I think at this point, a lot less expensive just to print my own than to order them, because I was looking into ordering some Brothers Albatross decals and the shipping is ridiculous. So, yeah. Yeah, no, it was great. It was a really good time, really good opponents. I want to try and play again. I hope my schedule lets me do it, because I really enjoyed getting out and just playing, rolling some dice and doing, you know, just getting out there, and it made the painting worth it too as well, just seeing them die. I also like that I kind of painted each one uniquely as well, because it really helped for like, for a person to be like, I'm gonna fire into that armature, I'd be like, the ultramarine one? They're like, yeah, the ultramarine one. And it just like helped visually as well, having it like be like, you know, oh, which one are you aiming at? I'm aiming at the Space Wolf one. I'd be like, okay, cool. Like that was really helpful on just for me. Because I'm like a baby, I have no object permanence, and, you know. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, it uses powder. Oh, that's interesting. I actually don't know too much about printers, so that's really, really fascinating. Yeah, it'd be great, because I love using decals. It'd be super nice to be able to make my own decals. Probably a lot of trial and error, though, but, you know. Kind of part of the course. But if I can make my own custom decals and just like get whatever decal I want, chat, I would unlock power. I could do so much, because most of these things I've done with just like the default ones you get in the boxes, or ones that people have traded to me, because I love my decals. They're very helpful, because I can't freehand this stuff, unfortunately. Yeah, for black and white decals, those later printers are cheap and easy to find. Colors where the problem will likely be. I mean, it's no Chaos Knights, but they do look good. Alright. It's funny because I showed these off and, like, some people are like, you can do Chaos Knights, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I know Chaos Knights are a bit more, like, popular than Imperial Knights, but I like my Imperial Knights, you know? Maybe. Some of those Chaos Knights do look pretty cool. One day, the dream is Chaos Knights for Army number 2. I feel like there's some techniques I want to learn. If I were to tackle a Chaos Knight army, I'd want more experience with specific, like, weathering techniques first. You know. I also kind of like the cleaner look of the Loyalist stuff. You can cut up a bunch of Barbies and use the parts for Chaos Knights. That's true. That's very true. Absolutely, I could. Are you talking about dry or wet transfer decals, or more like stickers? Transfer decals. It's like the water transfer ones. I wonder if you could order custom nail stamping plates. Those are getting popular. Those like the nail art plates now people are using for hobby stuff. It is crazy how much like beauty products and like Warhammer painting overlap. Like people have gotten into sponge painting with makeup sponges. You can use like makeup applicators for dry brushes. I use like nail polish. You can even see it in the background. I use nail polish displays to store my paint. The mighty sponge egg wash time. Yeah, no, I mean it's a valid technique. I mean, it's kind of how it goes. But yeah, there's a lot of techniques and stuff. No, I learned a lot painting this army, and I have more. I want to paint more armatures. My goal is I want to paint an armature for each Loyalist Marine faction. I have another armature right now in a box, which I want to do as a Dark Angel. It's going to be my Dark Angel one. I'm going for like a really cool foresty theme, but I'm waiting on somebody to 3D print me some stuff, so might have to poke them and be like, hey, I really want to paint this. Can I get that printed, please? And then, yeah, I have Dark Angel, Blood Angel, which the Blood Angel I'm gonna paint like this one. I have the other wing from this. I have that, and I'm gonna paint it up like this. And then I have technically Salamander, and then Iron Hands. Am I forgetting? Yes. No, I'm not forgetting. So I have Dark Angel, Blood Angel, Iron Hands, and Salamander left. So, yeah. I need a pair of tweezers for a mini, and the best pair I found that wasn't 20 bucks was in a stores. But yeah, I mean, dude, just buy tweezers from, like, you know, just buy them from, like a Shoppers Drug Mart. It's all good. Oh, man. I got stuff for that Dark Knight armature. I have plans. I have, like, a hood, and I want to see if I can try and make it work, and I got, like, other stuff prepared for it. So I want that to look good. But, yeah. So, very, very exciting. Thank you guys so much for coming. This will be a bit of a, you know, stream for almost 2 hours, but it's fun. I hope I get to play again. I really want to get better at the game. I feel bad for not knowing the rules, but the only way I'm going to learn the rules is if I play. As long as people understand that it's like, hey man, I'm not trying to cheat or anything. I'm a dipshit. Like, I'm really stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying my best, you know, and the fact that everyone there was, like, understanding about that, they're like, yeah, you're new, it's fine, like, you're cool, like, it's all good, you know. It's like, I have adopted the philosophy of Gambledore. We're all here to learn and grow our community. Hell yeah, dude. I believe in the philosophy of Gambledore. Gambledore was a Romanian inventor who he accidentally won a poker national championship. Just, even though he was trying to throw the games because he knew that the other people there wanted it and he was just there. But he lost, like, he won. He didn't mean to, but he kept winning. And, like, he before they could interview him, he left, but he left a note for the people wanting to interview him which basically stated, you know, like, I was trying to throw, but Life Like a Joke had other, Life Like a Joke had other plans. And he's like, my advice I give to you is that you cannot possibly lose if you don't need to win. If you don't need to win, you can't possibly lose. And I think, like, because Gaijin was giving me some shit. Because Guys is just like, you know, he's like, don't you want to win? And I'm like, no, I want to have fun. I was like, Gaijin, I just want to have fun. Like, I mean, I'm sure winning is fun and everything, but, like, I'm not gonna, like, lose on purpose. Like, that's disrespectful. But, like, I'm like, win or lose, I just want to have a good time. And, you know, you cannot... You cannot possibly defeat someone who's there to have a good time, in a way. Yeah. Yeah, fun is winning. And, like... Well, it is fun to win, I get that. Especially at the higher tables, I'm sure that's very important, right? Like, it has, like, import to it, but, like... I don't know. It's like, I got nothing to prove. I'm just here to have a good time and make little soldiers die. And watch the thing I spent, like, literal weeks and hours painting blow up. None of my knights blew up, though, like, in the game, because there's a blowing up feature. If your vehicle is destroyed, there's a chance it might blow up, and I didn't blow up not once, even when I was surrounded by so many people. I think my favorite was during the Deathwatch game. My knight lancer got surrounded by, like, the two characters and then the ballistas, and I'm just like, do I blow up? And then fucking Angel's face was like, oh my god, I forgot it could do that! It was so funny. That was so great, like, the realization. Your PowerPoint lied to me? What do you mean it lied to you? Oh, man. Yeah, Deadly Demise. And the Deadly Demise on those, too, is super painful as well. It really hurts. Oh, man. If I win, I win, but I'm here for the game, not the prizes. I mean, I didn't know where I was at until the end of the game. Like, really, I was like, I'm sure I'm doing alright. Like, I could see where I was scoring because I was being shown this app, which was super useful. And I was super... That was another great takeaways. I learned how to print my own decals, and I also learned this really good app that gives me, like, you know, that gives me the secondaries and stuff, which was great. They were safe explosions. Big difference. Yeah, they were, like, you know, thematic explosions. It's why my favorite Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine faction has a stratagem that can just make anything blow up upon death, both your own and the enemy's. That's fun, Ghost of Corporal Jenkins. That sounds like a blast, quite literally. You had to picture your dreadnought blowing up your model. Well, it did blow it up, but it didn't explode after it died. So, yes, I'm sorry. I did tease you with some lies. I apologize. But, yeah. By the way, you got third. Wait, I got third? Wait, what? I got third? I didn't know who actually, like, who won. Who won the whole thing? Do you know who won the whole thing? Because I never asked. Who won? I got third? Wait, what? I got third? God damn! What the hell? I got third? Oh, okay, Foster won. I was gonna say, he was playing like a monster. He was doing really good. Wait, I got third. I placed? What the fuck? Well... Oh my god. AJ got... Okay, so Eldari got second, and then I got third. Wait! I got third! Chat's making fun of me now. Only Monty could make the podium and not realize it. Like, yeah, Angel posted that earlier, but you missed that post. Wait! I got... Wait, what? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Well, that's cool. I got a bronze medal. That's cool. Monty once again stumbling backwards into victory. Listen, I was frolicking. That's what I was doing. Holy shit. Oh my god. Wow, well, great. That's great. Holy shit. Well, that's nice. Whoops. Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, that's just like a little bit of like, you know, a little cherry on top of just the good games. Is actually, I had no idea I placed that high. I thought I got like, I mean, I won 2 games, but I didn't know how the rest, like where everyone else was. I I need to read, man. There's something wrong with me, chat. Like, holy Hannah. What do I get for it? I think the winner, the overall winner got a gift card. And then I got the sportsmanship one, which was very nice, which that might go to a Brutalis Dreadnought at this point. I want my own Night Killer, honestly. That thing put the fear of God in me. Yeah, he got the cash pool for first. That's right. Yeah, because we had to pay. Which that's good. That's super fun. To be fair, you are 2 hours of sleep. That is fair. But also, I am an idiot, so let's not ignore that part. Oh my god. Holy shit. Task failed successfully. Charge Monster Dreadnought. Dude, that Dreadnought was killer. Like, that Dreadnought was like... It was a box knot, too. That's what I love about it. Box knot Deathwatch Dreadnought. The MVP. Like, that thing was disgusting. Like, that was like... That was the takeaway, too, is also, I should get a Brutalis Dreadnought. That thing's scary. That thing is super scary. Yeah, Brutalis Charge, Strike 12 Talents. And also, I couldn't hit you or shit. I couldn't hit that Brutalis Dreadnought for shit. That thing was strong. I have a Ballistus Dreadnought, I think, in my Salamander army, but I kind of want a Brutalis now. That sounds like a lot of fun. Can anything carry that? Because I know, like, some transport units can carry Dreadnoughts, but I don't know if that's the case. Because the rules are constantly constantly changing. Toughness 10 and 2-up save, yeah. Do you get an automatic 2-up save, or was that just the way with the toughness? I couldn't remember. Only Dreadnought I'd consider is a White Scar, but it needs to be carried out of a Storm Raven like a dog with its head out of the window or car. I think that's the old rules had one, but once not sure. Okay, that's fine either way. I mean, that thing schmooved anyway. That'd be great frontline, though. Good frontline screener, actually, now that I think about it. I have to look into that. I have to look into a Brutalis. That sounds like a lot of fun. Oh, I could do my talons up like this. Give it, like, flaming talons. That'd be fun. Custodes have a dropship that can carry Dreadnoughts. Oh, the 2+ save is standard. The T10 just helped reduce hits. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because, yeah, toughness 10. Yeah, that thing was brutal. You know, the namesake. It was pretty brutal. God, so cool. Such a cool looking model, too. Like, the old model looks cool, but the new one also looks really, really cool, too. Oh, man. But, yeah, no, that was the tournament. It was a lot of fun. I got home. I ate a salad. And then I had a bath, and then I literally passed. I quite literally passed out in, like, I woke up in the bathroom, and I was like, I need to go to bed, and I passed out. So, yeah. I will say this, I'm very thankful that the scene I have locally is super chill. Like, I think that's the biggest takeaway, is, like, because I've heard so many people, like, have horror stories. Look in fan art, Monty. Oh, God, what'd you guys do? Hold on. Let me look at fan art real quick. Yeah, that's fair. That's kind of... that's, yeah. Fair enough, yeah. So funny. That's crazy, dude. I had no idea. Good stuff, shit. Good stuff, chat. At least I didn't have cursed dice. No, my dice did good. My fluorescent pink dice and I got some dice from some Christmas crackers that are like completely clear, that are red. I like to use those for my rollies. Those are my lucky dice, my lucky rollies dice. I like the clear dice too, because like, especially for rollies, because then it's like, you know, they're not weighted as well. Because I heard about the story of the person in, like, was it the UK? Someone at a Warhammer tournament had weighted dice they were using for their roll-offs, and then someone thought it was super sus and was just like, we're testing those dice. And then the guy with the dice, like, put them into a toilet and tried to flush them, but they had lead in them, so they didn't flush down the toilet. So when someone went to go use the bathroom next, at the bottom of the toilet were 2 weighted dice, and one was on a 6 and one was on a 1. And they couldn't get rid of the evidence, and they actually have those dice apparently framed in that bathroom, which is some incredible shit. So yeah, the infamous toilet dice, yeah. Oh my god, it's so funny. Oh man. Don't cheat at games, that's so fucking lame. Oh, man. Yeah, they were also playing Eldar, who were overpowered at the time. Yeah. I mean, again. Hey, the Nerded Beard!
I love you.
Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, no, that was the tournament. It was a ton of fun. Had a blast. I want to do a kill team next, I think, in terms of projects. I'm going to take a break from painting for a little bit, because I painted up a storm. The moment I got a little whiff of this tournament, I just started painting, like, a ton. I painted a ton of models. I painted the Acheron and the Castigator back to back, which was fine. I didn't rush them, really, except for, like, last minute. I had to do the finishing touches on the Castigator, but, like, you know, I took my time, I chewed the fat a little bit, and, like, but it was a great motivator to actually get them done, which is why I really liked the tournament, because it's like, oh man, if I get these done, I can run these knights, and I'll have 2,000 points of knights, and I'll actually have a 2,000 point army. My next goal is going to be getting my, my salamanders up to par, because I want to get them ready to go as well. So... don't get caught. Don't cheat. Caught or otherwise, don't do it. Come on. Gets the spray bottle. But, yeah, I have a bunch of Space Marine stuff I need to paint. I have Agrax Agatone, I have the new Vulcan Heastan. I got some Terminators. I bought some secondhand Terminators, chat, from a place called Fenris Workshop. I got them for dirt cheap, too. I got 5 Terminators for 20 bucks. And the reason they were so cheap is because one of them is missing an arm, and I felt so bad for him, so I'm probably going to either give him a cool prosthetic or maybe kit bash him a little bit. Be really, really cool to do. But, yeah, I want to try it, maybe work on some of my Salamander boys, and get them maybe up to 2,000 points, so I have options if I feel like playing the Salamanders. I have some tanks I need to paint, I want to get a Brutalis Dreadnought. I think that's what I'm, like, want to get to commemorate this tournament is a Brutalis Dreadnought. This place is as if it's not the best discount store in Canada. I like Fenris Workshop for online, and I'll buy locally if I can. Right now I can only buy paint locally because I don't want to get any paint shipped in the mail right now. But yeah, Fenris is good. I really like Fenris. They're very good. Put it on Throne. Put what on Throne? Fenris Workshop? I'm gonna buy Fenris Workshop. It'll be my store now. The Brutalis Dreadnought. No, I'll buy the Brutalis Dreadnought with my prize money, I think, that I got for the best sportsmanship. I like to spend that on something for my army. It's kind of a nice little celebratory thing. In fact, 2 of these armatures, this one and this one, these 2 were actually I used the, not all of it, of course, it was not that much. But, like, I used my gift card from the prize pool to buy these 2, actually, at the tournament. I bought two armatures at the tournament. After the last tournament with the gift card I got. And I was like, this is to commemorate this. Yeah, I still paid the rest, but, like, yeah. And then I ended up using it for this tournament, so. Do you have Vulcan Heastan? Yes, I have the new Vulcan Heastan. I got it from Fenris Workshop. And I have Agrax Agatone. I got 6 Blade Guard veterans for him. I have a Land Raider Redeemer. Sorry, I'm looking at my pile of shame. I have a Land Raider Redeemer. I have some more Intercessors, but I might make those into Brothers Albatross, potentially. Do I really want to paint 2 Space Marine armies? I don't know. I'll think about it. I definitely want the kill team to be Brothers Albatross, though. But, yeah, I have some Space Marine stuff to paint. Which they're a bit easier than the Knights. The Knights are a bit more of a production. But I also still want to work on doing some more armatures up. Even though I can only, like, field so many armatures, I really want to make the whole rainbow. I think that was just a fun project. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Eurolf. Yeah, aggressors are amazing for sallies. I have Fire Gauntlet aggressors. I got 6 of them. I got a 6-man brick of those. So those are pretty good. I have a bunch of Terminators with Thunder Hammers. I got 6 aggressors. Just a bucket load of flamers. I have a Gladiator Lancer, but it's a proxy model. I got a Gladiator Lancer of my own. I have a Land Raider Redeemer. I have a Ballistus Dreadnought. And I think just some Assault Intercessors as well. Somebody gave me fire. Oh. Yeah, aggressors are cool, though. I have an old Blood Angels box, not that I got all 3 in my army trade. Fair enough. Salamanders with flamers. That doesn't sound right. That sounds incredibly correct. That is their bread and butter. But I definitely want to play my Sallies again at some point. I do really want to play more Salamanders. I need to poke Michael because he's a really good Salamander player. But yeah. Oh man. So much fun. I'm enjoying painting, but I'm going to take a bit of a break from painting. I want to focus a bit more on the writing side of things, I think, for a little while, just to take a bit of break. I also really need to clean my office. I've been painting so much that, like, my office has been consumed by the painting stuff. Like, I'm just looking over to my side, and I have, like, you know, my 2-part epoxy, I got my basing material, I have, like, all of my stuff everywhere. I really need, like, a deep clean day, which I actually think I might do tomorrow. I might do a deep clean tomorrow after streaming. Because tomorrow we're doing more Space Marine 2, Adventures of Titty and Friends. And I'm very excited to be playing more of that. I'm super excited for that. It was so much fun. Only thing I'm a little upset about is that Shay and Darcy said they were going to show up and bother me at the tournament. They never showed up. They were, like, threatening me. They're like, we're going to show up, we're going to bully you in front of all the Warhammer players. And I was like, yeah? Come and look at pretty models. Do it. And they never showed up. Even Darcy messaged me and was like, are you still playing? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm still here. I'm in my 3rd round right now. So, yeah, it was a blast, though. It was super duper fun. It was a great time. Painting was a lot of fun. Playing was a lot of fun. And I'm excited to do more. I really want to try and play more this year. I really do. Last year I had the intention to, but life kind of, you know, yeah. You said that and Mike's family appeared. Yeah, I summoned the wrong people. Oh. Man, I guess they figured they cannot beat you, yeah. Also, shout out to Darcy. Darcy did the face of this model. She hand sculpted this for me. As much as she bullies me and as much as I get trapped in her elevator at her apartment, she did hand sculpt me this, which was super duper cool of her. So that was very nice of her to do. So credit where credit is due. I was very proud to be like, my friend sculpted that. My friend did that. That's my friend. Oh, you should. You absolutely should, Mirrorwolf. You know, go there and you know, shoot the shit. It was a lot of fun. Oh, well, that is going to be streamed. Thank you guys so much for coming to this. I will remember to upload this VOD. I will upload this VOD to YouTube just so it's there. But no, this was a lot of fun. I definitely want to play more Warhammer. It was very, very fun. Also let me learn more about, like, the game and stuff in general and just, like, lore stuff too. It was very, very cool. All 3 of my unplayed Yu-Gi-Oh decks need to see some play. It was really fun playing, like, Warhammer. And then looking, and there was a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament happening at the same time, so it was a lot of fun. I'll probably do streams for tournaments, but if it comes to, like, just individual matches, I'll probably just talk about them in passing. I probably won't, like, have dedicated streams to it, just because there's really no point, but, you know, I'll mention it occasionally. But yeah, no, I had a blast. This was a lot of fun. And I felt like the prettiest girl at the prom, bringing my, you know, bringing my army. The smoke smell. Yeah, there was someone who smelled like cigarette smoke or something. I think someone just went outside and smoked and then, like, just it carried with them. It did smell like someone was smoking in the room, though, which was pretty wild, but it went away eventually. I bet you someone just went out for a smoke and came back in, or, like, multiple people did at the same time, and the smell was pretty potent. Not exactly open windows up there. So, yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you, chat, so much for coming. I hope, chat, did you have a good time?
Hello.
Oh, Dynamo, did you have a good time? Thank you so much for the follow. Did you guys have a good time? I hope you enjoyed the stream. This was a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed my matches. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun recounting it to you. It was a blast. I will be putting this VOD up on YouTube at some point. I have to upload the other book clubs as well. I gotta get those done, and I'm gonna probably do a little bit of editing on those and uploading those. Try and get those up for you guys. But, yeah, no. Thanks for watching. Thanks, chat, for watching. For coming to the stream. I appreciate you. It was a treat. Tell Michael we want him to kick your butt for us. Yeah, I will. It's really funny, too, because Michael was like, why do we keep fighting each other in the second round each time, too? Because that was the other thing as well, is we kept fighting each other in the second round of both tournaments. It was very funny. Oh, man. It was so much fun. Dude, I'm smiling. I've been smiling this whole time. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. But I gotta get back to work. I gotta get back to getting stuff done, and not that it's not fun, but like, you know, back to the regularly scheduled, not prepping for a tournament program, you know, back to doing D&D and stuff, and doing, you know, other stuff and streaming and whatnot. And I gotta clean my apartment. Monday's gonna be a deep clean, I think. I need to clean my entire office. There is stuff everywhere in here. There's paintbrushes, there's like rattle cans, just all sorts of stuff that needs to get clean. So I'll have to do that at some point. But thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you guys are, you know, enjoyed the stream and had a good time. And I'll upload this VOD to YouTube. And you know, if I got anything wrong or I misremembered something or I got rules wrong, I apologize. Again, I'm still baby, still figuring it out. But yeah. Goodness. Hi, Funkmaster Grunty. Is anything moving that shouldn't? I don't know what that means. That's spooky. Spooky. Who is on right now? I think Gaijin might be on. Gaijin. Gim Gam Goomba. Gim Gam Goomba. Oh, no, he's not. He's done. Dang it. Let us raid. Who should we raid? Wanna raid Connor? Let's raid Connor. We're gonna raid Connor. Mr. Distortion Devil. What do we want our raid message to be? Ooh, actually, yeah. What should our raid message be, chat? One Wing Angel? Yeah, let's do One Winged Angel. I think that might be the name. One Winged Angel might be good. Surprise bronze. Let's do One Winged Angel. One Winged Angel. Let's do that. Box.pic on Discord for those who want to look. Yeah. One Winged Angel. Alright, take care, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for more Space Marine 2 with Gaijin and Evie. And I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Goodbye. Have a good evening. I'm gonna go eat. I'm hungry. Goodbye. Take care. Avita said the night.